Hi, and welcome to IndieDaze. I am your host, Marc Hutchins with Alexander Films. IndieDaze is a show where we want to focus on independent filmmaking. Now, a true independent film is a film, that is produced independent of a studio or studio financing. I think there's some gray area there. I think studios can be involved, but typically they're going to be independently produced. There's not a big studio backing behind it, and therefore we call it an independent film. Typically, studio films have larger budgets, and they're financed by studios, which have obviously more resources, more people, etc. A studio, or sometimes called industry, sometimes called Hollywood film, blockbuster films, most of what you see in the theaters, those are studio films or industry films. Those are not considered independent films. The focus of this show is to talk to you, the independent filmmaker. Now, you could be an independent filmmaker that shoots your film for what we would call a zero budget. It's never zero. I mean, you're going to buy food, you're going to spend money on gas, but you may not have a budget that reflects large numbers. So you could probably say, yeah, I spent a couple $100s on this film. People have done it. People have spent a couple $100s on a film and even gotten them into festivals. Don't know if they won, don't know if they're any good, but they've been in festivals. Independent films can be very, very low budget, or they can be very high budget as well. You can get up into the millions, tens of millions with an independent film. Just because it's not financed by the studio doesn't mean it has to be done on the cheap or inexpensively. I've had a chance to produce 5 films. 3 of those were my company films, and 2 of those I had a chance to direct. Now, as an independent filmmaker, I have always had my hand in writing my films, and I've always produced my own films. I want to talk about one of the most important set of rules, although I'm not really, maybe they are rules. The thing that seems to be lost before anyone gets started, everyone gets excited. You get started, you write a script. Oh, the script's written. Okay, now I want to go and I want to find some money. And then you get your cast, you get your crew, and you get it done, and yay! And through that whole process, you've missed some very, very simple and important things. So number 1, be kind. I know it's simple, but God knows people just don't understand that basic rule. I've had the chance to do some industry work, and it surprises me how unkind people are in the industry. Basic rules. Please, thank you, nice job. Those things seem to be lost, at least on the productions I've been on. And if you really get out there and research working on an industry film or a Hollywood film, you'll likely find the same thing. So as an independent filmmaker, I'm going to challenge you to set the bar higher, much higher. It's as simple as, hey, thanks for coming today. I mean, yeah, you might be paying them. You may be paying them with credit and pizza, but you may be paying them with just the appreciation. And so don't miss that opportunity to be kind, to say thank you. It's little things like that that make a difference between you as an independent filmmaker and a lot of what happens in studio films or in other independent films. Don't be fooled. Independent film can be just as brutal as studio films. So just be kind. It's a very, very simple rule. Number 2. Respect. Respect goes along with being kind, but it takes it kind of another direction. Have a general overall respect for people. People. Right? It doesn't really matter their gender. It doesn't matter their age, the color of their skin, ethnicity, their religious preferences. I don't push anyone away because, well, they're a Mormon, they're a Buddhist, Hindu or whatever. He's gay, she's a lesbian, he's transgender. For me, filmmaking is an opportunity to embrace everyone with joy. Be kind and respect. Ask for that respect in return. You should want that respect that you're giving out as well. If people don't respect you and they're not kind to you, and there's a problem, reconsider whether or not you really want to be there. When you shoot at someone's house, someone's business, any type of property or location that's not yours personally, respect it. Treat it like you don't want to break or hurt anything. Don't leave trash. Don't mar the walls. Don't lean stuff against the walls. And have a conversation with your crew ahead of time. So not only respecting people, respecting the location. Embrace each other's strengths. Even as a new director working on an independent feature, I recognize that actors act. I'm not an actor. I've never been trained as an actor. So I embrace the strengths in the actors. I would call myself a DP if someone said, hey, DP. Oh, yes, I DP. I understand gaffing. I understand location sound. And so I've learned these things. But when I'm directing, I'm hiring other people to do those things. I am embracing their strengths. I hired them based on their strengths. And although I might have a conversation about the way something looks, the way something's being done, ultimately I'm being kind, respecting that person and embracing their strengths. Respect the process as well. There's a process to independent film, and something we'll go into soon enough. But there's 5 stages. There's development, pre-production, production, post-production, and marketing and distribution. When you get into production, that's not a time to do a casting call. When you get into production, it's not a time to start looking for locations or figuring out what you're going to do for catering. When you're in pre-production, that's not a time to ask the actors to come in and work for free, assuming you're paying your actors, to do something because, well, we're going to start shooting in 2 weeks, but I need you to come in there for this one scene. Respect that process. People will likely respect you if you understand and respect that process. Manage your expectations. Things will go wrong. I don't care how well you plan. You can't control the weather. You can't control the piece of gear that suddenly decides to shut down. It was working a minute ago. It worked during the camera test. Now, first day of shooting, the camera won't turn on. Battery's good. Maybe you plugged it into house power. We can't understand what's wrong. Things will go wrong. Embrace that. By managing your expectations, you're not going to be ugly to everyone on set, forgetting to be kind and forgetting to respect others because suddenly things aren't working out. It could be that one of your PAs runs through set, which you should never do, catches the tripod, knocks the camera over, and that's why it doesn't work. You don't really keep a backup camera for PAs running through set and knocking cameras over, but things happen. It's a difficult situation. It could cost you money. It will definitely cost you time, but don't forget the first 2 rules. Be kind and respect. And finally, embrace the unknown. The unknown is a beautiful thing. We got this perfect location. Location A over here is exactly what we want. It fits the story and you can't imagine anything being better. You hit location A and out the door comes the owner. Sorry, son, you can't shoot here. But you have a contract. They agreed. They signed it. They said it was fine. But they changed their mind. You're not going to sue them. You're not going to set up shop anyway and have them call the authorities. Instead, you're going to have to go someplace else. You might go someplace else that very moment and find a location that you did not think was going to be as pristine or perfect, and suddenly you realize this is an amazing location. I can't believe we didn't think about this first. It could be that you go to that location, location B, maybe not even a second option, just something you have to do, and you're going to shoot in location B. Maybe the whole time you're thinking, ugh. But then you might get in post, and you might start cutting the film together, and you might say, wait a minute, something about location B pops that we would not have gotten at location A. But you would have never known that. So embrace the unknown. So to recap, number 1, be kind. Number 2, respect. Number 3, embrace each other's strengths. Respect the process. Manage your expectations. And number 6, embrace the unknown. So those are 6 rules I want you to think about going into independent film. If you fail to apply these 6 rules or principles, whatever you want to call them, then you're going to get in a sticky situation when you lose your cool, when you don't respect your crew and cast, when you don't respect the location, when you freak out because the unknown happens, and you're going to hurt your reputation and the project. The project's important, but the film's only successful if you, as an independent filmmaker, are successful as well. Again, I'm Marc Hutchins with Alexander Films on IndieDaze, and I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. Ciao.